Right now, there's a lot of canceling or cutting people off or just ending relationships and stuff like that because you found they view things differently from you. And honestly, that shouldn't be the case. Here's the thing, if you want your voice to be heard, then you have to be willing to listen. And right now, we're not listening to each other. The moment we hear, I'm this, I'm pro Trump or whatever the case may be, we automatically decide that, oh no, you're not worth talking to. But truth is, everyone has something about themselves that someone doesn't like. Literally, your siblings don't like certain things about you, your parents don't like certain things about you, your coworkers, your friends, other family members, people you play games with, sports with, teammates, everyone has something about you that they don't like. That's just how it works. The difference is people decide that they want to accept you for your flaws, and that's a wonderful thing. It brings so much happiness and so much joy, and it's so worth it. But let's talk about that latter part. Why, when we find out that someone is a certain way, do we feel like they deserve to be canceled and cut out of our lives? People deserve to be canceled and cut out of our lives if they cross boundaries, right? If they're not listening to what you have to say, if they are causing more stress and more damage into your life, because honestly, we're not compromising and we're not going to get anywhere if we continue to treat each other that way. I get it. It makes sense that you want to cut somebody off. Like, how could you possibly think that way? That's just such a poor way to think. And how could you be a Trump supporter? And how could you be for Black Lives Matter? And how could you do this and that and the other? And because they're free? Like, you're free to say and do and be whoever, whatever, whenever you want to be it. If you decide tomorrow that you want to change and be on the path to being a lawyer, an astronaut, a baker, a calligraphy person, like, you literally can wake up today and be like, I want to change who I am and I want to be a nail tech. And you can go for it. And there's going to be people who don't want you to do that or don't want you to be that or think that your potential is somewhere else. And that's okay. You don't have to cut them off for that. You don't. And right now we're in the middle of cutting everybody off. Just, I don't like you, so I don't feel like you deserve any of my attention, any of my respect, any of anything that comes from me because you have one thing different about you that I don't like. And even if it's 10 things that's different about someone, so what? Are they a decent person? Are they kind? Does their relationship work for you? Because if that's the case, that means that you really need to stay in that person's life. If we start going around and saying, I don't want to talk to Democrats and I don't want to talk to Republicans, then how are we supposed to meet in the middle? How are we supposed to compromise? How are we supposed to find a resolution? You won't even hear the other person's side of their story. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't enjoy it. I'm not going, yay, let's go talk to the Proud Boys. I'm not going, yay, let's go talk to KKK. I'm saying I'm going to do what's in my power to give them the opportunity to express themselves and to hear them out. And then that way I have a better understanding of what it is that I need to inform them of. They might just be missing information. But you decided they're a whole person to cancel out because they disagree with your point of view and how you were raised and your backgrounds. Like, yes, all of us feel like racism shouldn't exist and, ageism shouldn't exist and discriminating against religions. We get it. But all of us also have those same morals or those same identities that we cling to. And just because somebody was raised differently from you doesn't mean that, oh, I'm gonna cut you off because that's just how you are. We all change. We all grow. We all have that capacity. So if you're gonna sit here and constantly tell people, oh, because you're this way, I'm gonna cut you off, you're literally forcing them to stay that way. You're not even giving them the chance to grow, to change. You're not even giving them the invitation of, hey, I'm willing to have this conversation with you, even though I completely disagree with you. The whole purpose of having people disagree is to have that opportunity to discuss it, to debate about it. And there's healthy ways to go about it. So I think part of the quarrel or conundrum or whatever you want to say, a part of the reason why we're just butting heads is because you're unwilling to hear the other person's side, which means you're unwilling to educate them. How does that help you? Please tell me how that helps. Because I feel like we've been doing the same thing for years now. Years. Someone says something that we don't like, we automatically cut them off, especially children. Especially children. They could say something and it makes complete sense. And then your reaction is the world doesn't work that way. No, you choose not to work that way. You choose to cut people off, which means they're going to go and run to the people that inform them that their behavior is correct or is right or is justifiable when you know it's not. And now you're missing the opportunity to correct their behavior. And don't go into it thinking, oh, all I have to do is tell them one thing and that'll get them to be on my side. And no, the purpose is for you to hear them out and for them to hear you out and for you two to come to a conclusion that, you know, this person is more right, that person's more right, or I'm just going to stick to my own beliefs because we can't seem to come to an agreement at this time. These conversations have to continuously happen. It's just like learning in school. You don't learn how to add in one day. You don't learn how to subtract in one conversation. You don't learn how to do these things off rip in any subject. So why is it that these political subjects or these more scrutinous subjects, especially discrimination, everyone's like, because you should know better? Obviously not. Obviously, we don't know better. So you getting upset isn't really going to help the situation if ultimately you're just going to cut them off. Don't get me wrong, you have the right to be upset. You have the right to deal with your emotions how you see fit. You should do it in a manner that provides less stress in your life because it's about your emotions and your life and your happiness. But we're human. We're going to get mad and we're going to get upset and we're going to express that. You should do it less often. You shouldn't get as enraged, yada, yada, yada. There's things to work through. You shouldn't have to raise your voice. You have to practice unlearning that. Like, you have a lot that you're going through. The last thing you need to do is cancel someone because they disagreed with you. Because if anything, you're pushing them further in that direction. We need to stop. And I literally mean we. Like, I don't come on here and give advice and say things and make it seem like, oh, I'm all hip, hip, hooray and ready. I say it because it's true to who I want to be, who I'm trying to be, and who I know other people can be. And we can make the world a better place instead of this whole fighting thing. Like, we are coexisting right now with the hatred in the world. So why don't we coexist and find a peaceful way to do it? And that's probably the biggest thing that I'm going to stress right now because we are at each other's necks. Left versus right, black versus white. Why? What are we solving? What are we fixing? Isn't that the point? Because someone doesn't get it? Okay. Find another way to explain it to them. Show them somebody else who might be able to explain it to them in a way that they can understand. Water that seed. It's going to take time. And it's not easy. at all. And it's not comfortable. And you don't want to do it, and it's not enjoyable, and you're just like, I don't understand why you think the way that you think, and the person is thinking the same thing about you. So I need everyone to please take a moment and just sit there and understand that they don't know where I'm coming from, and I haven't reached them at the right moment. Because if you keep going at it, then one day it will all sink in. At the end of the day, it's still their choice just as much as it's your choice. And some people make bad choices. Some people learn from them, some people don't. If you see someone making bad choices, you try to help. That's the best you can do. That's all you can do. You can't force a single soul to do something that they don't want to do, that they don't believe. And it's hard to believe and understand, but just consider how you've done it. And that's even hard to fathom because you have to be honest with yourself. And honestly, you don't really see a lot of the mistakes that you make. Neither do I. But there are moments where I sit back and I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. And I learn, and I'm like, okay, I need to cope with forgiving myself, and I need to take steps to make sure that I don't do it again, or that I handle things differently, or when I see these red flags and triggering moments that I know this is something that I need to step away from, or this is something that I need to practice having more peace in that moment so that I can express myself in a way that it will be taken in, or in a way that I can just get it off my shoulders and move on with my life because I don't control other people's thoughts. Just think about it. Until then, I love you. I believe in you. Have a happy day. As always, go defund the police. Thanks.